Hi children, how are you all? Are you all doing good? Are you all reading your lessons daily? Doing your homework? You're staying healthy? Fine, isn't it? Okay, very good. Children, tell me the things that you can see when you look up the sky. Name the things that you can see when you look up the sky. Daytime we can see sun, and nighttime we can see different stars, twinkling stars, isn't it? So around the sun, this is a sun. You imagine this is a sun, okay? And we can say planets revolve around the sun like this. There are many planets, some planets like revolving around the sun, okay? Planets revolve around the sun. And third planet from sun, 1, 2, 3. The third planet that revolves around the sun is Earth, E-A-R-T-H, Earth, and we live on the planet Earth. So children, where do you live? On which planet you live? We live on the planet Earth. Okay, we live on the planet Earth. Here you can see in school and all a model of Earth we can say. See, you know what is a model of Earth? You know how Earth looks like? Earth looks like, see the image? It is a model of Earth. It is called a globe. G-L-O-B-E, globe. What is globe? It is a model of Earth. Model of Earth. Model of Earth is called a globe. So have you seen the image of a globe, children? Yes, it is a model of Earth. And Earth is the planet where we live. And you know, some people go into the space, up in the sky where stars are there, sun, moon and all are there. Why? To learn about sun, moon, stars and all. So from there if they look our Earth, it looks in blue color, we say, blue color. So Earth is also called a blue planet. Earth is also called a blue planet. Okay. So that's our lesson today. Earth and landforms. Earth and landforms. Okay, children. So why it is blue in color? You know, Earth is also called blue planet. Why? Because Earth, most of the surface of Earth is covered with water in the form of seas, oceans, lakes, rivers. Most of the Earth's surface is covered with oceans, rivers, seas, lake. They are blue in color. That's why it is called a blue planet. Or we say 3/4 of the Earth is covered with water. Means most of the portion of the Earth covered with water. And it is very important for us, water, isn't it? We need water. Animals need water to live. Plants need water to live. We human beings need water to live. All living things need water to live. So it is very essential for us. Most of the portions of the Earth is covered with water. Then only a small portion, we say 1/4. Only a small portion of the Earth is land. Where we live. We live on this land. Your house is on this land. People build house on land. Okay. So this land, you know, this is not same everywhere. it is different. So we are going to learn about those lands, different land forms, earth and landforms, the topic for today. Okay, so children, we live on the planet Earth. How it looks like? It looks like a ball, we say. It looks like a ball. Or we can see the image of Earth like, see the picture of globe. We have already seen, isn't it? Globe, a model of Earth it is. And it is also called a blue planet because most of the portion of the Earth is covered with water, like rivers, oceans, seas, lakes, etc. Only a small portion is covered with land. On this land we live. People build house on this land. But the land is not same everywhere. Okay. So why? Because some land are same everywhere. Some land a little bit high, we say. Okay. So lands are different. Depends upon its shape or the level of the surface of the land. So we are going to learn about different land forms. Okay, children? Yes, as I said, land is not same everywhere. It is different, depends upon the shape and level of the land on the surface. Okay. So some land, children, they are flat, we say. Some land are flat. Some land are flat, we say. This flat land are called plains. Flat land are called plains. These are called plains. Or we say plains are flat land. They are flat land. Okay, children? Plains are flat land. We grow crops on this land like wheat, rice, etc. This flat land is good for producing crops. Then cities, villages all built on this flat land. Most of the people live on plains because it is a flat land. So plains are flat land. We grow crops on this land. People live on this land. We build house on this plain land or flat land or plains. Cities, villages all built on this land. Now some land are high, or we say little bit away from the ground, little bit they rise up. Land that are rises up like this. Rises up or with steep sides. These are called steep sides, sloping type. Okay. So some land are high or high land. They are called hills. Or we say hills are high land. Okay, hills are called high land. Land that are little bit high. Hills, hilly roads, roads on the hills, how it looks like. They are so narrow. Very thin road, it will be like full of twists and turns like this. Full of twists and turns like this. Hill roads will be like this. So it is difficult to grow crops on this land. And there are big hills, children. Big hills, big hills are called mountains. So mountains are big hills. Big hills are called mountains. Big hills are called mountains. The climate or the weather of hills and mountains are so cool. On mountains we can see different trees, fruit trees like apple tree, cherry, plum. These trees are grown on mountains. And as I said, the weather is so cool. So some mountains the top of the mountains are filled with, snow. Some mountain tops or tops of the mountains are filled with snow in winter. Then what happens, the snow melts. Then it forms, the water runs down. Water will go down. And it forms rivers. It forms rivers. Okay, children? Top of some mountains are covered with full of snow in winter. Then what happens? Then it melts. Then water runs down in the form of, and they form rivers. So hills, they are highlands. Big hills are called mountains. Mountains, top of some mountains are filled with snow. Then they melt and water runs down and they form rivers. Okay. Now, the area, some area is the yellow area between hills and mountains. Here, yellow area of land or area between two big hills or two big mountains. It is called two big hills or two big mountains. The area between two hills or two high mountains, it is called valley. V-A-L-L-E-Y or valleys. The area between two high mountains. Between two high mountains or between two hills, or the area between mountain and hills, we can say. It is valleys. V-A-L-L-E-Y-S. Valleys. And valleys are so beautiful, children. In valleys we can see green plants, flowers, valleys, they are so beautiful with full of trees, flowers, etc. Valleys. People also live in valleys. Green plants, flowers, trees, all we can see there. So the area between mountain and hills or between two high hills or mountains, it is called valleys. And valleys are so beautiful with green plants, trees, animals. Okay. So what all this we learn now? We are learning about different landforms. We learned about flat land. So flat lands are called plains, isn't it? We grow crops there. Villages, cities all built on this land. People usually live on flat land or plains. Then land that is little high land. They are hills. And big hills are called mountains. And between mountain and hills we can see valleys. Isn't it? Then next comes another landform. Okay. Next is, you have seen this like in TVs and all, you can see an area, full area, big area covers with full of sand. Full of sand. It is called a desert. D-E-S-C-R-T, desert. Area that covered with, area of land covered with full of sand. People cannot live there. You know why? There is no rain over there. Because of no rain, no water. Only little water is available there. So people cannot live in desert. Any plants also can grow. Animals also cannot live because no water, no rainfall, so no water. Sometimes it will be so hot, sometimes cool also. Because of this climate and no rainfall and no water, people cannot live in desert. But there is an animal that lives in desert. You know which animal it is? In your textbook there is an image of a desert. Okay, there you can see an animal. Which animal it is? Yes, camel. In desert, we can see the animal camel. Why you know? You know camel body of camel is so thick and it can live without water for so many days. If camel is not drinking water, no problem for camel. But we cannot live without water, isn't it? But camel can live. That's why we can see the animal camel in the deserts. People use camel in the desert to go here and there. So very few people live there, okay? Very few people. And camel is called ship of the desert. Why? Because no vehicles are there in the desert. Only camel is there. Camel moves here and there. Because camel can live without water for so many days. That's why we can see camel in the desert. So, desert means what? A big area of land with full of sand. It is desert. Because no rain, no water. People cannot live in the desert. Then you know there is an area of land with full of trees. Big trees, small trees, plants. What is that land called? Forest. You know, forest is a land where we can see full of thick trees, big trees, plants, even animals. Actually, forest is a home for animals. Wild animals live in forest only, isn't it? So, a land full of trees, plants, animals. It is forest, we say. Okay. So these are our main landforms. So children, today we learned about earth and landforms. So where do we live? We live on the planet Earth, isn't it? Earth, how it looks like? It looks like a ball. And you can see the model of Earth in the image. What is that? It is a globe. And globe is a model of Earth, we say. Globe is a model of Earth, isn't it? Then most of the part of Earth is covered with water. Only a few portion is land. And on this land we are living. But land is not same everywhere. It is different. And different landforms we learned today, isn't it? And the first one we learned is about, yes, plains. Plains are flat land. Plains are flat land. We grow crops on this land. Many people live on plains. Then comes highland. Highland are called hills. Then comes big hills. Big hills are called mountains. And in some mountains, top is filled with snow. So in winter, then snow melts, then it forms water, then water runs down and form rivers. Then the area between or the land between mountain and hills, or between two high mountains or two hills, area between two high mountains, it is called valleys. Valleys are so beautiful with full of green plants, trees, animals. People also live in valleys. Then we learned about desert. Desert is a vast area or a big area of land covered with full of sand. No people lives because no rainfall and no water. The animal camel survives there because it can live without taking water for so many days. And the land covers with full trees, big trees, plants and animals. It is called forest. Okay. There full of animals are there, trees are there, plants are there, birds are there. And this forest is a home for animals. One more land is called. It is called plateau. 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 It is called a tableland. Why it is called a tableland, you know? Huh? How the table is look like? 4 legs are there, isn't it? From the ground it is a little bit high. So a high land with flat top. Top is flat, but from the ground it is little high. So we call it as a tableland or plateau. Okay. Now let us read our textbook. Okay, children.